ball. The boos were unmistakable as Prince Harry and Meghan Markle appeared at the Dodger game for the World Series in what can be only described as a massive, very, very dumb publicity stunt, where Meghan looked almost manic for attention, and Prince Harry looked like he sometimes would rather be anywhere else on the planet but at the game. But, well, that's the only place where he actually gets to do anything kind of sort of manly. I think it reflects the entire thing an epic mess, and as well reflects the very chaotic, very unstructured, very directionless PR strategy of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, especially because she's on the cover of Us Weekly talking about how she's reinventing herself. She's getting into high fashion, and she has these hostess items that she's selling. So why in the world is she at a baseball game? The Venn diagram does not work. So, guys, we are going to get into Harry and Meghan invading their privacy yet again for the cameras and the attention. But if you guys haven't been to Royal News Network before, my name is Brittany. I do provide compelling royal commentary. So if you guys want to hit that subscribe button, I would absolutely love to have you back. And I did want to show off and share my Ana Lucia diamond, especially this loved locked necklace. So this is a limited edition, which is there to capture the heart at its most powerful when it's held, guarded, and unforgettable. So it's like in this teardrop shaped, you have a heart in there, and it both has a white and yellow gold. So it can kind of mix and match with anything. I know it's not super showing up there on the camera, but I just think this is such a cool piece. Ana Lucia creates lab created diamonds, and I just absolutely love this. I've gotten a lot of compliments on it. So if you're thinking of something for Christmas, feel free to check out this limited edition because it may not be there much longer. So if you follow the link up above or down below and you use code ROYAL20, you shall save 20%. My earrings are also from them as well, the twisted gold hoops. I think these are the large size, if I remember correctly. So if you guys are interested in checking any of that out, feel free to, again, hit the link up above or down below and save 20% through the use of Royal 20, because oh my gosh, Christmas is upon us. Which of course is something on Meghan's mind, which is why she was at the Dodgers game, because of course her quote unquote holiday collection for As Ever, which actually has nothing to do with the holidays at all. There is not a single piece of that alleged holiday collection besides maybe the hot toddy and the spice cider that has anything to do with anything anybody does during the holidays. Everything else is pretty generic. Her candle scents are very specific to her and have nothing to do with the holidays. Again, kind of a dumb mistake. But anyways, she very much was there, not for the game, not for the players, not for anything else but publicity. It was a very obvious publicity stunt. And we know that because of their placement in the stands. They were right there by, it looks like the third base is kind of where they were by, closer to the middle. That's where they were seated. That wasn't a mistake. I've heard it's the owner's box, whatever. But that was done just so Harry and Meghan could be on camera as much as humanly possible. Because when you're selling a brand, the thing you want to do for a brand that has literally zero to do with sports is show up as a major sporting event, which is why I feel like in part this appearance has gone down so incredibly badly. So let's go ahead and take a listen to the booze, which was reported by TMZ and other outlets. So let's take a listen. Since this is sort of funny, let's listen again. So yeah, I don't think the crowd was super excited to see them. And the reason is these two nincompoops have never shown at any point whatsoever that they care at all about the LA Dodgers. We don't even know if Harry watches the sport at all. Does he care about baseball? I don't think so. But Meghan has a brand to sell. And her idea was, which I'm sure she pushed through her PR team, because even if they were in the owner's box and were quote unquote invited, which I don't think was necessarily true, this is something arranged through PR. What Meghan Markle has always done and continues to do is relentlessly drive her image by pouring probably millions upon millions of dollars into PR. Guys, I would not be surprised at the end of the day, Harry and Meghan's money is eaten up by PR. I think that's entirely possible to happen at this point. I think that's where all her suits money went, was to PR, was to get a relationship or develop something with the owners and say, hey, Harry and Meghan would love to attend. Would you be willing to invite them into the box? And the guy's like, sure, whatever, I don't care. And so Harry and Meghan get invited and they're like super excited, and Meghan gets into her manic state. And it's just so obvious. And you got to wonder as well, Prince Harry, as the son of the king, it's the Toronto Blue Jays playing. So you got a lot of people from Canada ticked off that this nincompoop, that's what I call them, decided to go to this game and was supporting the LA Dodgers. Yes, I get it. He lives in the greater Los Angeles area, more or less. But it would have been actually interesting for these two nincompoops if they actually represented different teams. And of course, Meghan Markle wore the Toronto Blue Jays cap while she was in Canada. Because again, all this is farce and artifice. It's all fake. It's all there just for the cameras. And we see this reflected in some of the pictures because, yeah, we get some happy pictures. Meghan's definitely, checking out and side-eyeing the camera in some pictures. But we also get pictures where they look kind of miserable, like they don't care. There's no all of a sudden PDA. So yes, when the Getty photographer comes by, Meghan has to slather herself over Harry because she thinks somehow that portrays something like we would want her henpecked beta male who basically gave up his masculinity to serve her agenda. Meghan, nobody wants a guy. He's a beta male at this point. She hangs all over him and, touchy-feely and all this. But of course, in different pictures, they're not doing any of that. And that reflects, of course, sort of the natural progression that people do throughout something. But what Harry and Meghan have always done to their detriment is be so touchy-feely that anytime they're near each other, it seems like they can't exist unless they are like super glued together. That once they don't do it, it's like, oh, that's kind of weird. So do they do that in their like time at home, or is it just something for the cameras? And of course, it's really just something for the cameras. And we have, guys, this preciously bad. I don't know, guys, why Meghan Markle's Instagram following isn't growing, because she does like gems like this. Oh my goodness. Because this is perhaps the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Now we just get a picture here where Harry again looks like he'd rather be anywhere else on the freaking planet, and Meghan Markle is grabbing somebody because she can't not grab people. That's Magic Johnson, if you don't know. And then we have, date night. Oh, she's like, like getting happy. Oh my gosh, the trophies. Yeah, Meghan, something you've never won without paying for it. Just saying. And then, like catching her eating. And she's like feigning what? I don't know. This is dumb. Well, look, we're at third base there. Look at Harry. We're looking at Harry real quick. Looking at our shoes. Because, that's what we do. Let's go! Let's go. Harry knows probably nothing about this game. But again, it's the only time he gets to actually see balls. So he's very excited because, they can't do these things normally. And yes, I realize that's maybe a smidge crude, but I can't help myself. It's the only time he gets to be manly, guys, is when he goes to a game and when he surfs in a swimming pool. That's the only time he gets to be manly. And then we have to see, so Harry, instead of giving a ball to children, and we'll get to the kids. Oh, and now we have Harry filming Meghan because, she's like, honey, you got to film me. You got to film me. Oh, I'm so modest. Oh, don't capture me. Yeah, because Meghan, you look like, kind of a hot mess here. Not a good way. And the Dodgers promptly lost, ladies and gentlemen. And they're sitting down while other people are standing up. So again, let's watch the gloriousness. She is like, this looks so stupid. This also, Meghan, is things that people did on Instagram like eons ago. Honey, you're so behind the times. And then I still don't get why they're videoing her eating a hot dog. You got to wonder how many times they had to do that to get it just right, guys.
Let's go!
So, what about the kids? Because here's the other sort of critique you could say of Harry and Meghan going to this game. It's like, well, that's awesome that it's a date night for you, but I'm sure Archie would have loved this game. And despite what some people keep saying, because people keep going, oh no, the game was at 8 p.m. It's on 8 p.m. East Coast time, people. It started at 5 p.m. LA time. Oh my gosh, it's not that hard. Like they do that so that people on the East Coast can catch the game. You know, like different time zones, people. There are 3 different time zones. And well, actually, technically more. I think maybe there are technically 4 or 5. I'm actually not sure. Not Canada. Alaska and Hawaii. I know Hawaii's 6 hours behind. Might be part of Alaska. Alaska might be part of something else. Anyways, all that to say is that there are multiple time zones in this country. So the game at a certain time reflects the time where you're at. Because I remember thinking it was like 11:30 and things seemed to have cooled down. I'm like, that's a pretty short game. Or maybe it was earlier than that. And I'm like, well, that's kind of a short game. It makes sense. It was at 5. And so it was ending at, let's say, so it started at 8 my time, would be ending at 11 something. Yeah, baseball games are long. But kids love baseball, and there would be nothing more exciting to a little boy than going to a baseball game. And yes, for the people who are complaining, well, kids don't like baseball, they won't pay attention. I have a friend, she has 3 boys. She takes them to baseball games all the time. I think their youngest went to a game when they were a couple months old, or maybe even a month old, maybe even a couple weeks. I can't quite remember. But I remember seeing that going, they love baseball as a family. So they go to baseball games. But Meghan is not there and Harry is not there for family. They're there for Meghan's brand and nothing else. And I find that to be just a little disturbing because it's actually quite sad. So it's like, you got to wonder, do these parents do really anything with their kids in a lot of ways? Because, you can't see the kids. And so it prevents the kids from actually doing things with their parents. Because you could maybe guess that Harry and Archie could have gone to a game completely incognito. But Harry can't go with Archie to the game because people might see him. So Archie goes with the nanny. And so it's like, okay, so who's raising the kids? I mean, obviously, good question as well. Who's watching the kids? It's the nanny. It's always the nanny. And so I think it kind of portrays them badly in a lot of ways. Because yes, not all celebrities bring their kids all the time. Of course not. But it also looks as well like you're deliberately not giving your kids experiences because you don't really want to. You don't really want them interfering with your time for publicity. And to give a comparison with a good publicity stunt versus, and I'm not even saying this is publicity stunt, but a good publicity angle at this game compared to Meghan Markle is Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney went with, and also most of the men would prefer to see Sydney Sweeney over Meghan Markle, with Christy Martin. And Christy Martin is actually, believe it or not, the subject of Sydney Sweeney's new movie. So Sydney is playing Christy, and it's a sports movie. I think she's a boxer or something, or maybe an MMA fighter. And so Sydney went to a baseball game, a sporting event with somebody who has a legacy within the sporting industry to support basically a sporting film. That is a Venn diagram that very much works together. Not to mention the fact that guys love Sydney Sweeney. Don't totally get it, but whatever. Anyways, they absolutely love her. And she also was, yes, they posed for a couple of pictures, but they were more or less just there in a suite enjoying the game. Not really there so much to just go, give me a picture, give me a picture. Look, I'm eating a hot dog. Like, seriously. Anyways, so that makes sense for publicity. But Meghan Markle has a huge glaring problem, is that she doesn't know what she is, and she literally gloms onto anything that she thinks gives her a modicum of attention and maybe, just maybe, might move the metric on her sales or her show or her brand in general, whatever. But the thing is, it doesn't work if it's not authentic. Meghan Markle going to a baseball game is not authentic because I don't think Meghan gives a crap about baseball. I don't think Harry probably cares that much about baseball. Maybe their kids like it, but they send them to some sort of specialty UK soccer camp somewhere because, they're too good for America, yet they love America, yet Harry won't become an American citizen. He sort of still wants to be UK. Yes, there is that whole Harry podcast, which I feel like destroys my brain cells. It's so incredibly dumb. And he also makes fun of Americans and I think is too ignorant and dumb to realize that's what he's doing because he doesn't know enough about this country. So we will probably discuss that tomorrow. But Meghan, in this instance, she is once again betraying any effort to build up a brand here because there is no brand. It's all over the place. It's whatever Meghan feels like for the day. For a while, she was in her concert era. Now she's going to baseball. She was in Paris doing Fashion Week, because she's a fashion icon. And then she's in Washington, D.C. at a Fortune event telling us that she's a founder. And then she's in New York City at another event for mental health charities. Like Meghan is ping-ponging all over the place. And it's not a surprise that she's lost her 10th PR person in 5 years. And that's because Meghan doesn't have a chill factor. She doesn't have a wait and see approach factor. She doesn't understand that to build a brand, to build a company, you actually need to have an identity. Meghan doesn't have one. I mean, her one is basically, I was royal for 18 months. So now I'm going to cling to that for all it's worth for the rest of my life because that's the only thing I've achieved in addition to a soap commercial when I was 10. This woman has no identity. She has no brand. She has nothing. She is going all over the place. She even has a hostessing company and yet also acknowledges that she hates hosting. She doesn't want to serve anyone. So it's like, how can you serve and host when you don't really care about any of these things? And this is why everything surrounding Meghan Markle, as ever, is failing. And this publicity stunt, which is such an obvious publicity stunt, is not going to help. What Meghan needs to do, which I think she has a really hard time doing, is try to be herself. But she can't be herself. She doesn't know who the real Meghan is. She's constantly trying to follow a caricature. And at the end of the day, I think all she's ever going to do is fail massively. It would be like me going to a baseball game to promote Royal News Network. I mean, it would be kind of funny to go to a Royals game. The Kansas City Royals are a baseball team. And sometimes when especially when X was still doing more hashtags, you could do hashtag Royals, but it was about the Royals baseball team. Now that would actually be sort of a funny connection. And I could work it with the brand and kind of make it a bit of a clever wordplay type of thing. But I would not promote my company by going to a baseball game. Not that I can do anything that impressive anyways. And that's because it has nothing to do with what I'm promoting, which is royals and fashion. It has nothing to do with that. Same thing for Meghan there. There's no Venn diagram that connects as ever and the LA Dodgers. She has a tenuous connection to California with the brand, but it's very tenuous at that. But again, Meghan Markle, all she wants are camera flashes. All she wants is attention. And unfortunately, the more of the attention hog she is, the more it reveals her true self to the world. And I think Meghan might be having a little bit of a meltdown because some of the takedowns of Harry and Meghan attending the game were a little brutal. Canada is not happy, but Meghan doesn't think anything through. This is why PR people depart left and right. They want to help her, but they can't because as ever, Meghan never ever helps herself. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think, and I shall speak to you again very soon. Bye.